What's going on, guys and gals out there in the RC land? JT here with a quick, or try to make a quick comparisons video between the three brushless four-wheel drive versions 10 scale that Arrma has recently released. They released the Senton 4x4, the Granite 4x4, and recently the Big Rock 4x4. And I'm going to just slightly try to go over the differences in these cars. I know some of you guys are thinking and debating about what you're going to get, and et cetera, et cetera. And hopefully this video will help you out with making the right choice, because right off the bat for me, the Big Rock is kind of like, this is going to be funny for me and you Dragon Ball Z fans, like the Granite 4x4 and the Senton 4x4 kind of did a fusion, and they just went fusion high, and they just merged together and formed Vegito right there. So that's kind of what the Big Rock reminds me of, is if you kind of took these two and the best of these two and kind of put it into the Big Rock. Now, the Senton and the Granite both run for $299, and then the Big Rock is going to be $319.99. So you're looking at $300 for these two, and then $20 more for this. But this body and this paint scheme on here, and the way this body is just painted, this doesn't really do it that much justice. This body has a beautiful paint. I mean, it really does. I was really impressed when I did the unboxing on it. It's not taking away anything from these, because these have beautiful paint schemes and stuff as well. But it just really looks good. And I don't really want to scratch it up too much. I've already flipped it a couple times and ran it off road and all that. But it is what it is. So anyways, as far as differences are concerned, let me slap these bodies off real quick. And the biggest comparisons is going to be for the Big Rock between the Senton 4x4 and then the Big Rock. I've done a comparisons with the Granite to the Senton, so we'll start with the Granite first real quick. You guys see that the Big Rock is going to be a little bit longer, and you guys also see tire wise that the Granite has thicker tires. You guys got to excuse that. That's when I let my friend's wife drive, and she hit that curve, so or hit that pole. So we just gonna put that right there like that. But anyway, you guys see that the tires on the Big Rock are going to be a little bit thinner than that on the Granite. I'm actually thinking at some point in time putting these tires and wheels on there, and I'll do a whole nother video on tires and wheels, because Duratrax makes tires and wheels for these that are 14mm hex. You can put some of the HPI ones on here, some of the Red Cat ones on here. So I'll do a video of a different tire selection, so you're not limited to just what Arrma has released, because there are 14mm tires and wheels out there. HPI has some, and then they do have some 12mm hex that they're going to release as well. But as far as the system and stuff goes, the systems are the same. The gearing should be the same too. It's probably got a 15 in there as well, instead of like the Senton, which has a 20 tooth in it, but it does have smaller tires and wheels. You guys see that these body mounts, I had mentioned this in the unboxing, these body mounts are the same, which is fine, whereas on the Senton they're going to be a little bit wider. But we'll get to doing more of the comparison of the Senton in just a minute. As far as the bumper and stuff goes, this bumper is going to be taking at least this part from the Senton, and then this is actually a new piece. This is actually bolted on there, if you guys can kind of see that and let that focus in right there. So side guards, you guys see this here. The side guards on the Granite are pretty high, but it's kind of cut short there. Whereas on the Big Rock, they're somewhat high, but they're actually extended back a little bit longer. And I did run this through some dirt stuff, so I still got to clean this up some. So it still does have the dirt guards, the side guards on here, and it does have this little stepper, which gives it kind of a realistic, cool look, actually, when you're out there running it and stuff. And then, of course, come on, don't be trying to unfocus on me. Then, of course, most of the other components are just going to be the same. I mean, it has adjustable turnbuckles on both cars. Servos are the same. Systems are the same. Ball bearings throughout. Shocks are the same as well. If we turn these around real quick, you guys will see that this bumper on here is the same as the Granite 4x4. So I did actually break this at one point in time. I was doing some backflips and triple backflips, and it landed pretty hard, I mean, on concrete. So this did break, but it's still usable. I probably should have taken this off or did some adjustments to it, but this has the same wheelie bar that's on there as well. So like I said, there are components that are somewhat the same. It's like I said, they fuse them together and bam, you got this right here. So as far as, I mean, comparisons, both trucks are good. Both trucks run well. For me, I will probably end up putting some wider tires on here and then seeing how this performs as well. I'll probably end up putting the Granite tires on here first and then purchase some of the Duratrack ones at some other point in time. So let me get this Senton over here real quick. All right, now comparing this to the Senton, these chassis, this is basically the same length. There's no trying to stretch this out a little more. The Senton is going to look a little bit longer because of these bumpers it has on the front and rear. And then it also has like these side nerf bars or whatever for it as well. So those are going to be some of the major differences besides what I mentioned earlier about the body post as well. Between the two cars, they're both geared differently though. This has a 22 in it. This has a 15. I don't think this has a 20. I know I got to double check on that, but I doubt they put a 20 in here. So you can put up to, I believe it's a 26 tooth pinion gear. I don't think it's a 27. I think that's only for the 48 pitch brush version. So you can put up to a 26 tooth pinion gear in it, which I may do, or I may put a 20, but it ran fine as it was. So other similarities with this, there's not that many as far as I know. The chassis layout's the same, the system's the same. Of course, it's got the adjustable turnbuckles and stuff like that on there. And you can, of course, put these tires on here and vice versa. So, I may put these on the Senton. That may rub that body, though. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, as far as everything else, guys, it's basically this as a monster truck version. You guys see that some of the differences there with that and then there with that. But you see center drive shaft's the same. It has these battery straps as well. I love that Arrma put that on there. It just really makes that stand out more. And it does have heat sinks on the motors for both of them. So, I mean, these are good. These are good cars, guys. I mean, as far as selecting them, let me go ahead and put this down real quick. Now, as far as selection is concerned, that's going to be where it's going to depend on where you're going to run and how you're going to run. If you actually are planning on racing at your local track and stuff, of course, get the Senton 4x4. There's not a class that we know of right now, unless they have like a novice class or something like that, or kind of a run what you run class where you could run the Granite or the Big Rock. Not saying that they wouldn't do well if you put them on the track. You probably have to adjust the tires a little bit or something like that. But there's no class for that, unless I think there's some monster truck classes out there where they do some pulling and stuff like that. So those would be good in that, and the Senton wouldn't. But I think if you're having a hard time trying to decide what you're going to do, you can always get something like the Senton and then convert it to a Big Rock. You just need larger size tires and wheels. And you're going to need a different body. It depends on what you want to do and how you want to go about it. If you got the Granite and you tried to convert it to a short course truck, you wouldn't be able to do it because it's not going to meet the specs of a short course truck. It's not going to be as long. And there's going to be a couple things you're going to need to do for it. But you can buy the chassis and then buy the drive shaft, which is probably going to run you about $30-$40 for that. And then you got to buy a body, tires, and wheels. So you have to consider kind of what you're going to do with that. For me, like I said, the Big Rock is kind of a fusion between the two. I'm looking forward to running the Big Rock with some bigger tires on, a little bit wider tires, to see how that performs. But if you got the Big Rock, it would be easier to convert it to a short course truck than it would be for the Granite. So you guys may want to think about that as well. I like all three of them. I like all three of them for the particular purposes and stuff. And I'm actually going to run all three of them so you guys can see all three run, see how all three jump and stuff and all that. So all that is coming soon. I promise I will show that to you guys. I probably won't take the Big Rock to the skate park for a while because I don't want to scratch that body up. But we'll see. I might get a wild hair and do it. But, I mean, they're all three good. I mean, they all three perform well. The Big Rock, for me right now, if I've got some little bit wider tires on there, I could probably get a little bit more traction when I'm going into turns, and it probably wouldn't flip. I'm not saying it flips a lot, but I did flip it once or twice. I can't recall me flipping the Granite that much unless I hit a rock, but I did flip the Big Rock just a little bit with that. So there it is, guys. I mean, this is just a upfront basic comparisons with these cars. I could go more in depth, but you know, I mean, it's just basically different components that are on each car that's going to kind of separate them a little bit. But they are built on the same chassis or frame. It's just one chassis is going to be longer. And then, of course, different pinion gears that are in them and different tires and wheels. But they all come with good tires and wheels that are on there. They're good soft compounds. They're not too soft or too hard. So, you guys, I'll probably go live at some point in time as well so you guys can ask questions on this. But for now, Stay tuned for more videos of all three of these running. Especially stay tuned for more of the big rock running. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.